Okay, so last video we had our ball just simply moving across the screen. So that is what we had before. We've also had a thing of structuring time and keyframing. So next up, what we want to do is we want to move our ball along a path. Okay, so I'll show an example of this. And this is what we're going to be working on now. Pretty cool, huh? So we go over to our file, and now we're going to use a thing called scenes. So we click on the scene tool over here, and what we'll do is we'll double click on scene 1, and we'll call this one here 01 ball move. Okay, and press return. Now I'm going to create a new scene. So it's just like a new scene in a movie. Everything you have in the scene just disappears. Okay, so we have a brand new scene. It's different. It's at a different location. Okay, so all the mise-en-scene's gone. All right. So let's click on a new scene, and here we have scene 2. It should be scene 2 in yours, and we have here a blank stage. Okay, so there's no mise-en-scene right now. There's nothing there, nothing on our stage. So we're going to double click on this. We're going to call this one here 02, and we're going to call this one here ball move on path, and press return. Okay, so that's that first bit there. So that there is scenes. Okay, at any time I can go back to my other scene and it's still there. So let's click on 0 ball 2 move again. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to name our layers. So here a layer is a thing which is like panes of glass. You remove a pane of glass from a stack, and that part of the animation disappears. So very similar to how old school animations work. Okay, so more about that later on. So if you're using Adobe Photoshop previously, or you've used Illustrator previously, or InDesign previously, you know what a layer is. So let's double click on layer 1, and we're going to title this one here, title. Okay, press return. So we need to understand what our scenes are, because we're going to export this out as a video later on. Let's go to the text tool, and we're going to click on the text tool here, and we're going to type in here, move ball on path. Okay, you can change the color if you wish or what have you. That'll be fine for the time being. So I just clicked on this button here to disable the typing, and that is our title. So what we want to do now is we want to also lock this layer. So I can't edit this now, see? I can't modify it anymore. Okay, I can unlock it, or I can even hide it at times. Pretty cool. Next up, we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to call this layer here ball. But that is not all. If we click on plus again, and we double click on the layer, and we're going to call this one here path. Okay, so now if I'm on the path tool, on the path title here, on the path layer, I can go over to the path tool, which is a shortcut key for that is F, and I can click and drag like this. Take some time figuring this out. Click and drag, 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 and off the screen there. Okay, make sure that you go over past the screen. What's on mise-en-scene, please. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to extend our time. Okay, so we're going to go over to frame 1, and we're going to F5 or function F5 out to, let's say, 24 frames. Okay, so it's going to go for 24 frames, which is equal to 1 second, because we are at 24 FPS. So now we need to get our ball in. So we have drawn a ball previously, and that ball is in our library. So at any stage we want to recycle things, we can recycle it. So making sure that my ball layer is selected, I'm on frame 1, I go and click and drag this ball over here. All right, I now go over to the move tool, and I can move my ball so that it is, see how when I move it, it sort of snaps the center point in onto the path. I need to be doing that. Okay, So let's press return and we'll animate this. Hang on, the ball goes missing after 1 frame. We need to create a classic tween. So we go over to our keyframe 1, we right click and we create classic tween. Cool, let's see if it's going to work now. Press return. Nothing's happening, however, our ball remains there for the 24 frames. If we want to make this appear as though it's moving along the path, we now go over to our 24th frame. We make a new keyframe, which is F6 or function F6. We move this ball right across the other side and making sure that this ball snaps to that line, that path, making sure that we do that, right? It's going to work. So press return now. Oh dear. What's happening here? It doesn't know that the path exists. All right, so what we need to do is need to go to path, right click, so this is right here, path, and then create it as a guide. Okay, now we need to make the ball layer grouped with it, so we need to click on the ball layer and drag it up so it's sort of tabbed in to the path. Try this out now, return. Pretty cool. Okay, now I want you to save this now and upload this as directed. Thank you. Bye.